We were using some software called ClubManager. We were mainly using it to manage insurance. We tried several times to get it to set up to properly manage direct debits and so on for ongoing payments. To be honest, it was a nightmare. We weren't really using software. By the end of it all, we were using what's in a big pile behind you. Down there, that's what we were using. We were using files, envelopes, tick lists, which I would have to bring to class, print it out. It was an absolute nightmare. And now, the only thing I need is my phone. So it's brilliant. The reason I started looking for something different is because my senior students were giving me a hard time about how paper-based and dinosaur the whole thing was. You know, we've always been a community project, we've always sort of valued the teaching above everything else, but we reached a scale where the admin was getting in the way, so we needed something to smooth that out and let me have more MAAT time. Yes, very concerned. Migrating from one system to another, there's always a challenge, there's always turbulence. It wasn't without its hiccups, but we got through it. And the great thing was the guys at MAAT were there to support all the way through, even with the anodyne and stupid questions. We took the opportunity to do a bunch of things. Rebranding, price point changes, because the flexibility in MAAT offered new ways that we could encourage our members to pay for classes. So for example, previously the only thing that was available to us was direct debit. Now we're able to take block bookings of classes, which is incredibly important. Buy 10 classes at a discounted rate and use them as and when. So we did a whole bunch of changes. Some of the stuff equally migration was challenging, but we got there and it was all good. I think that was the crucial thing. When you're dealing with MAAT, you're not dealing with some big faceless corporation which puts you on the end of some queue for a support ticket. I'm literally on WhatsApp with the founders of the company and getting tailored support because they know how important it is for our academy to run smoothly. I think once we pressed the button, it was weeks. It wasn't anything longer than that. I think had we just started fresh and potentially not done a migration, it could have been even faster. It was a really slick onboarding experience, and actually it's the students and the coaches buying into it and seeing the advantages, which is really important. I think now more than anything in class check-in, we don't have sort of phantom students. We know who's on the MAAT, we know who their emergency contacts are, we know who's paid and who hasn't. There were a lot of people sort of like floating in and out and actually taking advantage of some of the goodwill. But now I think it's a much tighter ship, and we're able to reinvest the money that we save back into the club, which is great. I think if you're on ClubManager, you won't need any additional motivation to leave. The piece of software is a nightmare.